It is the imperial calendar year 2502 AS. The old world is on the cusp of doom, for the end times are upon us, for real this time. And Creative Assembly have recently released their 243rd DLC. There are so many legendary lords to choose from.
We're playing Karl Franz.
So many. Wow.
I want to play Karl.
So many lords.
We're playing Karl Franz though.
Look at all those lords.
We're going Karl.
An entire decade's worth of content crammed into one grossly misshapen map. What better time than now for yet another Emperor Karl Franz Immortal Empire's legendary difficulty and very hard battle difficulty campaign as we trace the conflicts and statecraft that give rise to the greatest empire the old world has ever seen. And if it will be able to stand against the ceaseless tide of darkness.
The story of the Empire begins with one guy, Emperor Karl Franz I Holzwig-Schließstein, Emperor of the Empire. But he is so much more than just a guy, for he has a voice that could melt the nipples off a giant woolly Norscan ice mammoth.
Summon the Elector Counts!
He also wields the fabled Warhammer itself, one of the goodest weapons ever made, and as you know, all good ships, I mean weapons, have a name, so James' workshop decided to call this one Galmaraz, which means skull splitter in ancient Elven or Swedish or something. Indeed, Karl Franz truly is the greatest emperor the old world has ever seen, for in the lore his vast territories span from the icy Sea of Claws in the north all the way to the soaring Black Mountains in the south.
Summon the Elector Counts!
Well, I mean, we would summon them, but all their fealty values are less than 10. We only own the region of Altdorf, never mind an entire empire. None of our neighbors like us. We're surrounded by dirty blue traitor secessionists, ravenous greenskins raid to our north. The Leech Lord rots everything at the heart of our lands that aren't even ours.
I can and will.
Chaos-roided goat founders stalk the forests.
Cliff you up, fuckwit!
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The horrific necromancer postulates from the Grey Mountains to the south.
I need more minions.
And a vampiric host of death looms from the east.
Lord of the Dead!
Also, the tooltip says we're count. But differences between the lore and game aside, so begins Karl Franz's seemingly insurmountable campaign, beginning with the expulsion of the false secessionist lords, led by the traitorous dog Hans Frankenwerter. But first, the recruitment of valuable allies, Rolfenstein Bern, to optimize the development of these lands.
Grand Inventor!
Piss off, training field. And Arch-Lector Gregorius Leonardus is summoned to Helmgard, who shall rise as the Emperor's staunch ally and face tank as much horrific enemy DPS as possible thanks to his large health pool and high melee defense, as well as to serve as ambush bait. Then, diplomacy, to nickel and dime anyone with the misfortune of being willing to talk to us. I mean, to foster genuine socio-economic relationships for mutual benefit and survival.
Better that man stand united against evil.
Fine!
My people are grateful.
Agreed! Sign the contract and be done with it.
Don't judge, handsome viewer, for every Imperial gold coin counts toward Imperial domination. To not acquire as much wealth as possible would technically be heresy. Next, to greenlight critical research into advanced technologies and ensure the Empire's prosperity. And lastly, but most importantly, as you know, all good units have a name, so we bestow blessed designations to the forces of the Empire. With the administration complete, Karl Franz tactically maneuvers his forces against his first adversary, the secessionist traitor lord Helmut Ludenhoff.
Are you with me, men of the Empire? For the Empire! For the Warhammer!
The main line is set up upon the tree line as gunpowder units form up on the right flank, mortars to their rear, and Karl Franz himself takes the honorable vanguard. The Boom Headshots and Call of Duty 1 Empire Gunners are assigned as Kill Team Alpha, tasked with shredding the secessionist battle lines to bloody ribbons. Meanwhile, the First Reich Riders are deployed on a far eastern flanking maneuver to distract, disrupt, and split the enemy forces into two groups, luring their deadly crossbowmen away from the main battle. All the while, Sigmar's nuts are to relentlessly teabag the enemy forces with holy barrages of sacred mortar fire. The McCarrow Burger and Fries are set to the right of the main line as an emergency defense to cover Kill Team Alpha should the worst occur. As for the main battle line of the esteemed 1st Halabardos and the brave 1st and 2nd units of Swordy McSwordfaces, they are commanded to remain upon the high tree line and mock the enemy from afar. And so begins the Battle of Altdorf.
For the Warhammer! Quick march! Quick march! Mortar! Now! Handgunners! By Galmaraz!
Whilst the battle rages, traitor Lord Helmut Ludenhoff was spotted amongst the fray. Thus, the elite McCarrow Burgers and Fries are dispatched with a side of deadly Zweihander.
For Altdorf! For them! Handgunners! Sir! Sigmar calls!
Suddenly, the First Reich Riders, having flanked all the way to the west of the line and were running down fleeing traitors, came under deadly crossbow fire, which needed to be dealt with post-haste, requiring the full brunt of Sigmar's nuts.
Mortar! Fire! Don't give them an inch! Ready!
The enemy crossbowmen were obliterated under the combined force of a Reichsguard charge and the mighty power of Sigmar's explosive load. Karl Franz himself routed the remaining secessionist forces, culminating in a decisive imperial victory. No more bloodshed was needed this day, for as misguided as the traitor secessionists are, they are still fellow human beings.
Summon the Elector Counts!
Unwilling to lose the momentum the Emperor had built, he ordered his men to capture the illegally occupied settlement of Grunberg. As Emperor Karl Franz always says,
Summon the Elector Counts!
Yes, that, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So during the Battle of Grunberg, he employed the same genius strategy and flawless tactics as the Battle of Altdorf. With Grunberg secured from the grip of the enemy, France's empire grows, and so does his stately wit. Upon the turning of the cottagers of RNG magic bequeath a gold wizard.
Gold!
Named Metallica Frankenwerter, with absolutely no relation to the traitor secessionist lord Hans Frankenwerter. For this guy is metal as fuck and will provide much needed magical aid to the forces of mankind. Upon continuing his campaign of glory, Karl Franz, in a ploy he learned from the renowned YouTube channel Cultist of Korn, initiates a manipulative diplomatic action worthy of any real-world politician.
The Empire is finished. You mortals just won't accept it. Speak then.
By selling Grunberg and its people to Count Siegfried of the treacherous Court of Night, the Emperor's coffers grow, and by the extremely low standards of Turn 2, immeasurable wealth flows to the state's coffers. Then Karl approaches Elspeth von Draken, who is angry.
No. No, I will not talk with you. Leave.
But Karl Franz is extremely convincing.
Summon the Elector Counts!
And finally, the diplomatic ploy is deployed as relations with Nuln are amended by joining their war against the Court of Night.
I trust your material needs have been assuaged.
Rolfenstein Byrne engineers the reoccupation of Grunberg by simply walking over there, since Count Sigrid had no time to undeadify a garrison of undead to oppose the geometry nerd. Fresh units of archers are recruited and given very important names. And then, in a military maneuver swifter than a wood elf wild stag during mating season, Karl commands glorious Gregorius Leonardus to assault Ubersreich as the Emperor's army force marches across the heart of the Reichland to reinforce. Metallica Frankenwerter comes too.
Death to the fate!
The Battle of Ubersreich begins during the Reichland winter. Glorious Gregorius Leonardus holds his position in the forest and awaits reinforcement. Karl Franz arrives and deploys his forces in the hallowed "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" formation as before. With stunning tactical genius, he utilizes Sick Micro and South Korean Tier APM to outmaneuver and decimate the secessionist forces. With Ubersreich returned unto the blessed fold of the Empire, France issues the recruitment of yet more archers, and within the following year, upon the turn of the turn, his forces prepare for an ambush. Using his strategic genius and knowledge of the surrounding woodlands, while glorious Gregorius Leonardus fulfills his destiny as Sigmar Blessed Bait in this classic total war tactic. 70% of the time, it works every time.
Are you with me, men of the Empire? For Sigmar, for the Empire, for the Warhammer!
With unimaginable positioning advantage, the Emperor's forces were deployed along the exposed flank of the enemy's marching column. What followed was not so much a battle as it was a slaughter of dirty, traitorous secessionist cattle. Sadly, however, the striking precision of the boom headshots, nor the FPS might of Call of Duty 1's gunnery skill, nor the devastating charge of the First Reich Riders were able to bring down the coward Lord Hans Frankenwörter. Even though Karl demonstrated sheer military genius, the secessionist forces were able to regroup at the settlement of Eilhart, leading to a climactic encounter that would decide the entire fate of the Reichland, a battle the likes of which the first 3 turns of this campaign had never seen before. The Second Battle of Eilhart saw the main battle line of the 1st and 2nd Swordy Sword Faces, the 1st Halabardos and the Macaroburger and Fries form up before the Pond of Eilhart. The Emperor decreed that this would be where the enemies would suffer their severest casualties. The Dark God Khorne himself would be proud, for the pond will overflow with secessionist blood this day. Upon the right flank, the First Reich Riders hold hidden in the forests, waiting for the perfect opportunity to encircle repositioning enemy forces, which can support the main battle line while the boom headshots and Call of Duty 1's camp with a vantage point over the Pond of Death. Thus the stage was set for the Second Bloody Battle of Eilhart. With the province of Reichland finally secured, the empire-shaped hole in Karl Franz's heart shrinks if only a little. There's but one last Lord Traitor of the Secessionists to deal with, Gustav Witzenheimer, the bastard heir to the deceased traitor, Hans Frankenwerter, who somehow spawned because this game's AI do be like that sometimes.
At speed! Summon the Elector Counts!